time to land the Barracuda!
Yeah! Everybody do now! Do what, baby? Come on and do the Barracuda!
Hey gamers, Mark Boss here in Tokyo Toys Chakadura in central London for a wonderful launch is Dynasty Warriors Strikeforce. With me today I've got Will Curley, Vice President of Koei Limited. Will, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Cool.
Chakadura.
Awesome, so tell us some more about this awesome game.
Well, this is our first exclusive Dynasty Warriors game for PSP, and in Japan right now the PSP is a very strong selling format, so a lot of publishers like Capcom, Square Enix and Koei are producing exclusive PSP titles, and they're mainly focused around multiplayer. There was a big hit title from Capcom called Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, kids really picked up on playing that together at school and on the trains. So Dynasty Warriors Strikeforce is very much in the vein of a multiplayer action RPG, but using obviously the Dynasty Warriors characters.
So I'm guessing it links quite well to the predecessors which have already been on the PS2 and also for the actual series as a whole.
You have all the usual Dynasty Warriors characters, so you've got 41 to select. Obviously, as it's an RPG title, there's a lot more customization you can do with the characters. So usually in Dynasty Warriors you're using just the signature weapon of your character. Now you can choose a secondary weapon as well. That's one of the first times we've had that in Dynasty Warriors. So you can see when they're fighting, depending on the type of enemy, you need to be using a different type of weapon. So it's pretty good for the fans, because after a while, you know, using one weapon is, it's good to be able to have some variety.
So tell us more about the lock-and-on system, how it works with the PSP.
The theme of the Dynasty Warriors games is one warrior versus 1,000 enemies. So you feel very powerful on the battlefield, and you can sweep hundreds of soldiers away with one swing of your sword. In this, it's more like 1 versus 10. And each of the enemies is a lot stronger and more aggressive and more powerful, and they take a lot more hits to kill. You can also fly and do aerial combos, and that's why you have the lock-on, because obviously you need to stay locked onto the enemy so you can repeatedly hit them up into the air and then continue your combo. So a little bit more like a fighting game, like that. The actual colour of the lock-on reticle will tell you how good your weapon is against a certain enemy. So if it's red, you need to change weapon. If it's green, then it's good.
Tell us more about online play or networking with the PSP.
Well, it works as a 4-player ad hoc game. You have a town section where it's a kind of safe area where you can power up your character, buy items, change your weapon, etc. There's no actual online mode. It's purely an ad hoc game at the moment. But you can. Playing by yourself, it's quite difficult, but obviously you get a lot more XP, so you can level up faster. It's really designed for 4 players. If there's 4 of you, the kind of attacks that you can do and the combos that you can build together, it's much easier and more fun, yeah.
So there are specific combos you can only do with 4 people teamed up, networks up?
Yeah, I don't know whether you'll see any of them doing it, but if you unleash your Muso at the same time, you can like drop boulders on the enemy, that kind of thing, so it's, really helpful versus the bosses.
Cool. So you mentioned earlier about fighting a lot of enemies in this game.
Yeah.
How many enemies are we talking about here?
I think on this game it's probably about 20 is like the maximum. In the usual Dynasty Warriors games, you know, you've got hundreds or thousands on screen together. So this is much more focused on the fight between you and the enemy being a lot more balanced. You know, when they hit you, they can do a lot more damage to you. In the usual Dynasty Warriors game, it's only the officers that you have to fear. In this one, basically all of them can do you a lot of damage. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing if you've got like 20 foes to fight against, teaming up with 4, would that make it easier? Would the difficulty rank up to balance it out, or?
The difficulty doesn't change. It's just a lot harder if it's just you playing.
Oh, okay. So you really do need 4 people.
And then again, like every time you kill an enemy, you'll get a drop. So you'll get either an item or material or some money. If there's 4 of you, you know, you have to share the treasure. If it's just you get everything. Plus you get more experience. So you do find that the curve is fairly even either way. In Dynasty Warriors, usually the best attack you have is your Muso attack. which you can clear out a lot of enemies with and does a lot of damage. In this one, when you move so far as charge, you can basically do what's called a Fury transformation, which gives you basically an ultra powerful version of your character. So you can see they kind of get an aura around them, their armor changes, their weapons get bigger, they do more damage. Plus they have, some attacks that only work with when you're in your Fury mode. You can fly higher and you can dash further. So it's basically a new attraction for this title, and obviously for the Dynasty Warriors fans, they get to see like a super version of their favourite character as well. So that was one of the main hooks for this game.